Hello everyone, this is Jason White and welcome to the first round of our 1965 F1 series. It's the Grand Prix of South Africa from the Prince George Circuit in East London. As you can see, our drivers are in their warm-up session, getting used to full fuel loads and maybe making a few final tweaks. And we're going to kick off this series with a very interesting circuit. Most of us are familiar with Kyalami as home of the South African Grand Prix, but prior to that, it was at the Prince George Circuit. This is a 3.920 kilometer road circuit, 85 laps, a little over 333 kilometers. It looks simple in that graphic, but trust me, it is not. There's plenty of elevation change and lots of interesting corners. And our drivers are going to have their hands full this afternoon, trust me. Let's take a look at the point scheme going into this 1965 F1 series. 9 points for first, 6 for second, 4 for third, 3 for fourth, 2 for fifth, and 1 for sixth. To be eligible for points, a driver must complete at least 75% of the race distance. Only the best 6 results will count towards the drivers' and manufacturers' championship total, and manufacturer points will be given to the highest placed car for the manufacturer in each contest. So a little complicated, but we'll just take it as it comes. Coming up at ISO, the Grand Prix of Monaco, our second race, 100 laps around the houses. It's going to be a survival contest, no question about it. Sunday, February 8th, race starts at 2000 CET. We'll have a highlights package following, probably on a Tuesday. Trivia question for you to ponder. Who won the first South African Grand Prix on the Prince George Circuit that counted towards the World Championship? Was it A, Graham Hill, B, Sterling Moss, or was it C, Jim Clark? We'll have the answer for you later on in this highlights package. All right, so let's have a look at the grid. On the pole is David Wattman driving for Team Lotus. His time was 1 minute 24.292. He was 0.6 of a second clear of second place. And starting alongside David is Tim Hilla, and he's driving the first Ferrari on the grid, North American Racing Team variety. And you can always tell those entries by the white and blue stripe that you see on the nose there. Going to the next row, we have Giovanni Centorami starting third in the first of the factory Ferraris. An Italian driver in an Italian car. I'm sure he's really anxious to do well in this series. And then alongside Giovanni, in fourth, we have Richard Wilkes, our physics guru. He's driving the John Surtees #1 Ferrari. These cars are a lot of fun to drive, and a lot of that has to do with Wilkes' work behind the scenes, and we thank him for that. Going to row number 3, this is Cezariusz Lipinski, and he is driving a Cooper Climax. This was the car that future world champion Jochen Rindt was driving in 1965. And alongside Cezariusz, we have Grant Riddall in the first of the Brabhams on the grid, the classic green and gold livery. Grant is one of our elite drivers. It'll be very interesting to see how he does over the 10-race schedule. Going to the next row, we now have the BRM team, and this is the first one starting 7th in the hands of Juha Boss. And alongside Juha, we have the second BRM in the hands of David Saber. There it is. And he's driving Graham Hill's BRM, and you can tell by the dark blue helmet with the rowing stripes there. Classic livery. The other BRM, incidentally, was driven by rookie at the time, Jackie Stewart. Going to the next row, this is another Lotus in the hands of Ray Riddall, and he's about a second and a half behind David Wattman's time on row number 5. And then we move to the last car in the top 10, and this is a privateer entry, Andre Wicki, and it's going to be driven by Gabriel Del Piccolo. There's a lot of privateers in this series. It'll be interesting to see how they do as well. Now let's look at the rest of the grid. Nicholas Kirsten starting 11th, Anders Nilsson starting 12th in Joe Seifert's car, Adam Hackman starting 13th, and then John Team for Cooper starts 14th. Brian Janik starting 15th for Brabham. 16th is Jules Bouchard in the first of the Reg Parnell entries. 17th is Michael Drexler for Honda, and then August Watring in another Brabham. Ruben Fernandez starts 19th, also for Reg Parnell, and one more Reg Parnell entry in the hands of K.O. McKeels. Bruna Chacon in the second Honda, and Rob DeVries in another Reg Parnell entry. And there's yours truly starting 23rd in Innes Ireland's car. 24th is Peter Hlavich for Scuderia Centro Sud. Christian Dauger in 25th, and then Rob Swindells in 26th. 27th is Gilles Towe in place of Jonathan Asserclinth on this occasion. Andres Vittoria is 28th, Simon Wattman 29th, and then 30th, Alberto Quino. Actually, there are 31 cars on this grid, a very full grid. I can't remember the last time we had 31 entries. Cars building to crescendo. Stand by for the start. And the race is underway. Cars peeling away from the grid. Hopefully everybody has enough room. Oops, a little bit of bumping going on at the back there, but doesn't look like anything too serious. And as we head into the first turn, it's David Wattman in the lead. Tim Hillett in second, right on his heels, and then we have Giovanni Centorami third, and it appears Ślepinski is in fourth as they head over the brow. The cars become airborne just for a split second there. Heading down to the Cocabana turn. Easy to lose control of the car, so everyone's being very careful. Looks like everybody's making it through here without overcooking it. Oops, spoke too soon. One car running a bit wide there. And here comes the leading group into the S's, heading uphill. And this takes you back to the left into Cox's corner. David Wattman continues to lead, but Tim Hill is staying right there with him, thinking about possibly overtaking him probably at the end of the sweep here as they come to the second hairpin. The view from Tim Hill's car. Braking now for the final corner that leads onto the main straight. Tim had a notion to go around the inside there, but thought better of it. Everybody heading onto the main straight here. Oops, there's a Honda that went a bit too far into the grass. The nice thing about this corner in the Cocabana turn is that you have runoff space there if you make a mistake. Here comes Tim Hillett challenging for the lead already on lap 2, and he's got it. Tim Hillett goes into the lead for the North American Racing Team. Wattman down to second, although Wattman looks like he's going to challenge him on the outside here. Looking further back, here's Ślepinski, who is now up into third place. Cars running very close together here. Oh, goodness, free wide into the Cocabana turn. I don't think that's a good idea. Thankfully, they think better of doing that. Now this is lap 3, and this is Richard Wilkes missing his braking zone entirely, and he runs off into the grass. Thankfully, he didn't contact anybody. And he's going to gingerly get the car back onto the track here, making sure he doesn't take anybody out going onto the track. He rejoins with no problem. And this is on the same lap. This is Juha Boss in his BRM, running up past the S's and into Cox's corner, looking for a place to get by the cars in front. And watch what happens here. A slight disagreement happens in front of him, and thanks to Juha's lightning quick reflexes, he fades to the left. And he's able to pick up 3 spots there before he gets to the final corner. Very, very well done. Now on lap 9, and Giovanni Centorami heads down the inside at Cocabana and takes second place from Cesare Ślepinski. Cesare is trying to fight back on the inside there, but I don't think he can counter the horsepower of the Ferrari, at least not in this situation. This is also on lap 9. Unfortunately, Juha got a tire on the dirt there, and it sends him around in the S's. This is going to be a very difficult part of the circuit for a lot of people. We'll see that coming up. Juha, for some reason here, has trouble getting the car in gear. He's losing lots and lots of time. Not sure what the issue is here. Finally chunks it into reverse to try to get the car righted, and eventually he's going to get back on the circuit here. But not after losing many, many positions. This puts Juha all the way down in 23rd place. So he has a lot of work to do going forward here. Now we move to lap 11. This is John Team in a Cooper. He comes into the S's and oof! Those tires, very unforgiving. And this is not going to be the last time we see this happen in the S's, unfortunately. Heading now to lap 13. This is a kind of unusual situation here. Del Piccolo in the Andre Wiki car there. Following Sabre. Sabre goes off to the left there and rejoins right in front of Del Piccolo, and he just couldn't react quickly enough. An unfortunate incident that takes out both cars. You see the tires rolling free there, and just a racing incident, unfortunately, with David coming back in the track suddenly. Now, we move to lap 21, and this is Adam Hackman. He is battling with Jules Bouchard here. This is a battle for 12th place. Heading through Cox's corner. Hackman driving for a privateer, and so is Bouchard. Coming up to the final corner here, it looks like Adam might be thinking about popping out and taking him on the inside. We'll see what he does. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Skates up the inside. Ooh! Doesn't get a lot of room there from Bouchard, but he's able to get it done. Sneaks into 12th place. Bouchard down to 13th. Look at this. Bouchard is coming back. Looks like he's going to try him on the outside here, going into the first turn under the Dunlop bridge there. And he gets it done. He sweeps by on the outside. Very good maneuver by Jules Bouchard. You can see there that Juha Boss is coming up through the field again. Coming down to Cochabana. Adam trying the inside there, but nope. Bouchard slams the door. And you can see there that Juha is closing in with each passing attempt that doesn't work. It's causing him to gain on Adam Hackman. So they head for the S's now. Ooh. Adam trying another time there, but just can't quite get it done. And Juha closing in behind him. Down to the sweep. Juha might be able to try a passing maneuver here on Adam by the time they get to the final turn. Yeah, he's popped out already, trying to take the line away. They're braking for the corner, and there he goes. Textbook pass up the inside. Very good by Juha. And he goes up into 13th place. Adam goes down to 14th. Now lap 22. This is Centorami. He's caught up with Tim Hilla, the leader. He's going to try a similar pass down here into Cochabana, and he takes the lead in his number 6 Ferrari. Hilla trying to stay with him there. But Giovanni is now the leader of the race. Now lap 25. This is Grant Riddall in his Brabham. And he's pursuing David Watman for 4th place here. Part of advancing your position here is sometimes taking advantage of other people's problems, and there you see, just running a bit wide there, and Grant able to take advantage and move up to 4th place. Now we're on lap 27, and this is Wilkes in his number 1 Ferrari. He's following Anders Nilsson, pursuing him for 8th. That's me on the left there, letting them by. Exiting the turn, and Wilkes has an excellent exit to the last turn there, and he's able to get alongside Nilsson with relative ease. I think there may be a horsepower advantage there too, but there goes Wilkes into 8th place past Nilsson. Lap 32, this is Kirsten, and he is following, I believe that's Drexler, yes, in the Honda. Over the brow he goes. Kirsten's pursuing Ray Riddall for 6th place here. Braking and up once again, running just a bit wide. And Kirsten's able to go up to 6th with relative ease. Now, we're all learning about how long these engines last and how hard we can push them. Lap 33, Rob DeVries in one of the Reg Parnell Lotus BRMs, and the engine lets go on the front straight, and he just pulls it straight into the pit area. We're all still learning about this, so hopefully we'll have a better idea of how long the engines will last in the next race. Sorry. I'm going to stick with that camera, though, for one more incident here. This is lap 36, another Reg Parnell entry. This is Ruben Fernandez. And man, this one really blows up with fire and brimstone. So he just pulls it onto the grass immediately. He is also out of the race, unfortunately. Oof. Now moving to lap number 41. This is Brian Janik that we're riding with, and he is following Anders Nilsson. This is for 9th place. Up over the brow. Janik, in a very controlled manner, moves to the inside, takes the line away. Another textbook pass by my fellow Detroiter, Brian Janik. Very well done. Nilsson hanging with him there as best he can. Trying to go on the inside, but Brian's got him covered there on the outside, sweeping across. Now to lap number 43, we're with Wilkes again. And he's following Kirsten here, pulls out to the right. Things get a bit complicated here. He's got a Scuderia Centro Sud entry there that he nearly runs into. He just manages to thread the needle. I'm wondering, though, if Wilkes lifted slightly in that situation, because you look here at how quickly Kirsten catches back up to him, almost gets into the dirt there. Over the brow, now down to Cocabana. Kirsten's going to try him on the outside, actually gets ahead of him here, but Wilkes has got the superior line going into the corner. So he's going to stay in 6th place. Good battle between those two. Now this is lap 48. Alberto Aquino, who started dead last. I think actually Gerard Rion started 31st. And here's another engine failure, unfortunately. No pyrotechnics, but it's gone silent for little Al, unfortunately. Now we are in lap 56. This is Juha, and he is following Janik. This is a battle for 8th place. Heading into Cocabana. So much of how you do on this circuit has to do with how quickly you can get purchase coming out of these hairpins, the very slow corners. You can see that Juha has got a little bit of a roll here. Gets on the inside of Janik here, but it's just not enough to get alongside. Oh my goodness, Janik almost DNF'd there. His left front tire was so close to that tire barrier there. Coming through the sweep now, and you see Anders Nilsson is back there as well. As they come down to the final turn, here comes Juha up the inside. And look at that. He's able to sweep around Janik. And gets 8th place just that easily. Now on lap 67, this is Wilkes once again. And that's David Wattman ahead. This is a battle for 5th place. You got to lift when you come through there. It's just tight enough that you can't do it flat out. Now over the crest. Heading down towards Cocabana. Takes the line away. We see a lot of those well-executed textbook passes down in that turn. Oops, a little bit of a hip check there, but doesn't look like that's anything serious to worry about. Wilkes continues on his merry way. Lap 72, Bouchard. Looks like he's having issues controlling the car here. Maybe he damaged it early on. But things do not end up well here as he goes over the brow, loses the front end, and suddenly it goes to the left, and oh my goodness. I am so thankful this is not real life and just a sim. Now heading up the hill, this is lap 74. Anders following Janik here, and oops, a little bit of a disagreement there. A little later on in the lap, coming into Cochabana once again. And unfortunately, Anders has just pushed the car too far, and he has to pull off with a blown engine. Now into lap 76, and this is Ślepinski, and he's in third. And this is really disappointing to have his engine go right here, and it's really unfortunate to have that happen, you know, after having such a good race. Now we move to the final lap, and this is Giovanni Centorami on his way to victory. After he passed Tim Hiller for the lead, he did not relinquish it and drove pretty much a trouble-free race. Coming up to lap one of the Scuderia Centro Sud entries here, heading down towards the final turn. One more turn to go, and he takes the first win of the 1965 F1 Series here at ISO. Comes off of the corner, accelerates one last time, and there it is, Forza Italia. Giovanni Centorami wins in a Ferrari. Fantastic. Here comes Tim Hille finishing second in his Nart Ferrari, and then this is Grant Radal, who worked his way up from sixth to third. Heading now towards the final turn. And it's Brabham, and he's going to take the final place on the podium. Very good result to start the series. This is Richard Wilkes coming across to take fourth, just ahead of David Watman, who takes fifth after starting on the pole. This is Nicholas Kirsten, and he is going to take the final points-paying position in sixth. Here comes Juha Boss to finish seventh, just outside the points. What might have been if he hadn't had those incidents early on, but 9 more races to go. Here comes Brian Janik. He's had a good race for himself. He's going to finish in 8th place in his number 7 Brabham. Comes off the corner. Very good drive for him. Oh, and he goes straight into the pits. Okay. Comes across the line there. And there's Adam Hackman finishing 9th. And then Peter Hlavic in 10th. Drexler in 11th. And this is Rob Swindells, who finished in 12th. I finished in 13th place. And then you had Simon Watman 14th and Gerard Rion 15th. So let's take a look at the standings after round 1. 9, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1 points. Going to Giovanni Centorami, who's in first. Tim Hille second. Grant Radal third. Richard Wilkes in fourth. David Watman fifth. And Nicholas Kirsten is in sixth. Keep in mind, in this 10-race series, that it's the best 6 results that are going to count for both the Drivers' Championship and the Manufacturers' Championship. Speaking of which, here is that table. Ferrari is on top with 9 points, Brabham Climax in second with 4 points, and Lotus Climax is in third with 2. Remember, it's the leading car of a particular make that scores the points. Trivia question, one more time. Who won the first South African Grand Prix on the Prince George circuit that counted towards the World Championship? Was it A, Graham Hill, B, Sterling Moss, or was it C, Jim Clark? Time is up. Interesting question, because some races did not count towards the championship, but if you said Graham Hill, you are correct. That was back in 1962 that he won the first World Championship South African Grand Prix. All right, so remember, coming up on Sunday, February 8th, it's the Grand Prix de Monaco, and we have a full field. Maybe some cars will become available, who knows? But it's definitely going to be a survival race. We'll have the highlights for you in the days after the race. Really looking forward to this one. So, thank you everyone for watching the highlights package for round 1 of our 1965 F1 series. Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope to see you on our next highlights package. Everybody take care and be safe.